My name's Paul Beam. I'm a seventh generation Beam, co-founder of the Limestone Branch Distillery.
I'm Steve Beam, and I am the distiller here at Limestone Branch Distillery. Our family goes back to the beginning of the industry here in Kentucky, and we go back to Jacob Beam, who made his first whiskey in 1795. And what a lot of people don't realize is that he had 3 grandsons that were all in the business, and it set 3 distinct lines in the Beam family tree.
The Joseph branch of Beams are the Beams that we come off of. So Joseph had a son by the name of Minor Case Beam, who was my great-grandfather.
Minor Case's story. That's why I pushed to get back into the business. I always felt it was an unfinished chapter in our book.
It was all about rebirth of our family history and heritage, so it was very important to keep it for the next generations to come. We have a yeast jug that belonged to my great-grandfather, and they swabbed it for a strain of yeast, which would have been over 100 years old. So we are now using the yeast from back in his era of around 1895.
Minor Case Rye is a tribute to my great-grandfather. He was cut short, died shortly after Prohibition, never to distill again. And back in the day, he made Kentucky's finest whiskey, and this follows through in that tradition.
We go back on the other side of the family, and that's J.W. Dant. Now, they had a distillery in Dant, Kentucky.
They had this salesman who was out west, and he came back and he said, you know, they've got this new national park. It's the first thing, and everybody's really excited out here. And you know, if we were to name a bourbon Yellowstone, we would probably sell it really well. So that was it. They branded it Yellowstone, and it's been on the shelf since 1872. Even went through Prohibition. You could get your prescription for Yellowstone. One of the things that I like about Yellowstone Select is the nose follows through on the palate. Real classic Kentucky bourbon profile. The limited edition is a unicorn for us. It really is where I put my creativity to the test. Every year is a different profile, so each one is unique. We're able to make about a barrel a day. I don't want to necessarily be the biggest distillery in Kentucky, just really concentrate on making those barrels the best that we can possibly do.
We distill with a 150-gallon copper pot still. It's handcrafted. Everything's done by taste. We use a white heirloom sweet corn that we grow just right down the street, and we're not using computers or anything. It's just done the old-fashioned way of distilling. Everything's just done by hand, sticking the labels on there by eyesight. That's the way it was done back in the day, and that's the way we're doing it today.
Limestone Branch was one of the founding members of the Kentucky Bourbon Craft Trail. So when a guest comes into Limestone Branch Distillery, you know, we greet them, we give them the history of bourbon here in Kentucky. I think people come out with a better understanding of how distillation is done after coming here. We always top it off with a taste of our products, which always makes things a little bit better. So our family's been in these Kentucky hills for over 200 years. We have the great limestone water surrounded by corn. It's just a really ideal setting for a distillery. So we'd love for your family to come visit our family here at Limestone Branch Distillery.